Hey guys, this is The Champs. I'm Moshe Kasher.
Neal Brennan.
Doug Pound.
And we want to let you know before we get this episode started that
Neal will be at the
Velvet
Jones in Santa Barbara, California on Friday, September 30th. College kids, rich people, blacks. If they exist in Santa Barbara, I don't think they do. But if they do, please come see me.
And you also have a big announcement about something that you're going to be on, isn't that right?
Oh, I'm going to be on Conan on Wednesday.
The Conan Show on
Wednesday.
TBS at 10 p.m. Is that right?
11.
11, 10. Check it out. Check your local listing. I will be on Chelsea Lately on September the 20th, and then that weekend I will be at the Rooster Teeth Feathers Comedy Club in Sunnyvale.
I'll be in Portland on Saturday at the Portlandia Rap Party.
Check it. Check it. All right, let's get this episode started.
Thank you. You listen to the motherfucking Champs. This is Neal Brennan.
Hi, everybody. My name's Moshe Kasher. I'm the one that sounds like Neal Brennan. And for all of you bitch-ass motherfuckers that have been talking shit about that Neal and I sound similar, what would you like us to do? Change our voice? As my God-given natural-ass voice. So fucking unlock from the keyboard and let me do me.
Let you live?
Let me live, goddammit.
Yeah.
Moshe Kasher, one hell of a cool dude from the Bay Area, right?
Yes. That is so great.
That, of course, was Doug Pound.
That's DJ Doug Pound in the mix.
In the mix.
Neal Brennan is probably one of the coolest dudes in the world.
I don't believe him. I don't believe he means it.
How much did you pay for that sample?
I think Doug did it and slowed his pitch down.
Yeah.
Now you're fucking with the champ.
Stu's got like some Star Wars shit over here.
Well,
man.
every sound effect right now is a surprise to us. And by the way, the fourth voice you're hearing, is not another one of Doug's samples. It is, in fact,
It's a human man. A human black man.
A human black man.
A black-skinned man.
A human black man, the one and only Donnell Rawlings.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Donnell Rawlings. From Chappelle Show and a bunch of other shit.
Yeah, from Chappelle Show, from Notion and Gates, from Harlem, 125th Street.
125th Street?
125th. They got some good shit up there called Purple Haze. It's ridiculous.
You
Oh,
was
that
on
Yurple?
you were on the Wire as well.
Yeah, I was on the Wire.
Or the Wire, and you were on the Corner,
Yeah.
which is even better than.
Why?
I don't know if it's better than the Wire. But
No, I
the
didn't
Corner
say
was
it like
great.
you thought I said
You
it.
said he was like.
I didn't
the
mean
Wire.
it like
but you were
you
saying the
were.
chances of a black guy being on the Wire are
Very
like
high.
right?
Very high.
Now, white people
love the
really,
Wire.
Like you don't. Please don't fuck with the Wire.
Right.
No, I know because they get to see
That
black
is like
people.
our. I know they get to,
as a white, I would just like to say we love The Wire.
Yeah.
We love The Wire.
Explain why you think we like the Wire.
Because, like, you get to, like, for the most part, the neighborhoods that The Wire depicted and that it came out, white people not going to go there.
Nope.
They want to be down. Mm-hmm. They want to be that cool, but they don't really want to go through the experience.
They don't want to do it, yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to do it. So if you could put it in, like, a blog, you know, if you could blog about the hood, or if you could put it on a TV show
Right.
or a movie, they're more excited about that, and they're always going to support it. And it was a lot of intellectual writing on that. And you still got your ghetto grimy shit.
Yeah,
Sure. Can
people
I
still
ask a
shot.
question though about The Wire? Are you from Baltimore?
No, I'm from the Baltimore area, yeah.
Okay, so I felt at certain points like the dialogue of the thug to thug dialogue was a little bit over the top, like it was a little country grammar. Like I was like, I don't know anyone that really talks.
No,
it wasn't.
DC
No,
and
you
Baltimore.
got-
But I
real
wondered
country as well.
No,
maybe
let me
maybe
explain
it's some
something.
Baltimore shit that I don't
is
know.
Authentic. For most part, everybody was background or like close to like third leads were casted from Baltimore.
Straight up.
You know what I mean? So
They would say things like, "Yo, be getting off the freeway here," and I was like,
No, it's
"That's
yo-
that."
No,
I
yo-
I remember a specific thing. It was something like that. "Yo, be getting off the freeway." I'm like,
no, it's
"This
you'll be
is some
getting off
white
the freeway.
dude."
No, it's you'll be getting off the freeway right here.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Is that
that's exactly
some-
how-
is that a
you'll be
Baltimore?
giving up? Yeah, you'll be get like you'll be getting off the freeway right here. Like someone said that to me, I was like, okay, I'm making a right turn.
Okay, so
I mean,
you
I
know-
would.
All right, so
look,
you're
I'm
correct.
I'm street.
Moshe,
You're
that
correct.
suspends your disbelief. All of a sudden,
mean-
you're like, no, forget this show.
Fuck this.
Turn
little-
it off.
Gay,
Well, I mean, the
a
whole-
gay gangster that lives on the street and carries around a shotgun. And
Omar, come. Well, some gangsters have to be gay.
Those guys, like, and especially the one character in particular, Snoop, the female, the
Yeah.
girl.
She just went to jail, right?
Yeah, she just was released from jail. But she's like you. Were
she'll be
talking-
going back in 3 weeks.
So because she has an album coming out, and there's no way you can promote an album without a jail bid.
That's part of the deal.
Yeah, you got
part
to.
of the deal. You have to do.
They're
it
like,
after
well, you
jail.
know, your album is going to be released in December, so you got to go stab somebody like in August and do like 2 months, and then we're going to come out with the album.
This MC Pooh did that. MC Pooh robbed a Walmart and got arrested on purpose in order to promote his upcoming album, which was just some Oakland shit. That's where I'm from. I'm from Oakland. That's my.
Sorry to hear that.
I like it.
Again, sorry to hear that.
I like it.
Yeah,
That's
Oakland, I didn't
that's
even
the
know.
Oakland theme.
What?
That's
I like
the,
it. Welcome to Oakland. I like it.
The
about-
Wire, like my
Yeah.
dad is like a real like OG. He's always been a street guy, and he liked The Wire, but he didn't like the Omar character because he said that he didn't think that a gay dude could be that successful selling drugs and shooting people. And he said he never understood why they couldn't catch him. He said all he had to do was throw a bag of dicks out in the courtyard, and he would have came running out.
Omar coming for real.
Yeah,
this
Omar
time
was
Omar
for real.
really coming.
Yeah, Omar kept it real on that show. He did some things that I don't think a lot of people would have done. That's why he was the best person for that.
You know, The
was
Wire
great.
is white people's Cooley High. Ironically,
Yeah, it
like
is.
that is our shit. Like you don't fucking talk. That's like our. I'm not gonna say it's our Tyler Perry. What's like a black thing that you cannot?
Our Tyler Perry is Dr. Phil, I think.
Yeah.
I would love to see Dr. Phil doing Medea.
Our Dr. Phil, our Tyler Perry is actually. I was going to say our Tyler Perry is George Lopez. No, our Tyler Perry is
Ellen
who's like a
DeGeneres?
white. Who does it real broad? That's white. I would
Jim
say.
Carrey. Jim Carrey is our
Yeah,
Tyler
but
Perry.
even like more.
What is
Carrot
our 9/11?
9/11?
Right. that's
White
true.
people's 9/11 is.
Yeah, I think
9/11.
that's everybody's.
Although I have a theory that although I was watching a lot of black, it was funny seeing black people legitimately scared of some white people, like where they're like, okay, this has had nothing to do with race. This is just some fucked up shit.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you think like you like black people have a problem dealing with somebody like having a gun battle in the hood or whatever, but knowing that you could be on a fucking airplane and somebody don't give a fuck so much where they would risk their life, kill themselves,
Yeah.
to kill you, like that's a different type of fear, and that means anything goes.
That or dogs.
But when it happened, when 9/11 went down,
Dogs are black people.
Black people are afraid of dogs.
Yeah, we are.
Let's be honest about that. Black people are afraid of other people's dogs.
You cut him off so hard. Right
No,
now.
I'm just wondering when we're going to have a conversation where we all can talk because you just keep on. You just keep on. I'll talk about something before I can answer it.
Please.
You took it somewhere else. And this was a touching moment,
Please.
You shitted on me talking
No, I
about
wasn't-
9/11.
I wasn't-
Like,
no,
everybody's
go.
supposed to shut up on 9/11. As soon as you mention 9/11, it's supposed to be a moment of silence.
Yeah.
And throughout that moment of silence, you went in, and I don't know if it was a poo story or whatever, but I just wanted to tell you, like, the connection that black people, 9/11 wasn't just a white person day. It was black people. And I had friends from my hood that were upset but had no answer for anything, didn't know what the fuck was going on. I heard one of my dudes, he was like, dude, I'm fucked up. I'm like, why? He said, because them niggas tried to blow up the Octagon, son. So I could feel his passion, but he didn't know what he was passionate about, but he was passionate about something. So if everybody.
So that was
ultimate
Donnell's way of setting up one of his old bits.
No, that was
he shamed you. Let me explain to you what happened because I've known Donnell a long time. We're going to get into that in a second. I'll tell you from my point of view. Doug loved Donnell yelling at you because
I kinda liked it a little bit.
Doug does not care for you or me.
That I don't agree with. I think.
But there's a lot of people that don't care for you.
No,
Neal.
I'd like to get
Well, you
into
just
that.
don't invite them to your show, right?
Donnell, we've known each other since 1993 when I was working the door. No, I was working the door at the Boston Comedy Club. I saw Donnell. I was videotaping people for In Living Color casting. And Donnell was great. That was 1993. So we put you forward, and then we were friends for a long... Although we didn't really see each other.
No, I mean, that is, how our relationship started, but it's interesting because the question people always ask me, how did you get on the Chappelle show? That's the number one question. People thought it was because I was black, but what people that knows
That helped.
This is the story that I tell people. It was a little bit after Half Baked when Neal was making money up the wazoo, up the ass and shit, writing these fucking films for everybody, but they weren't getting the green light. They was just on the shelf and shit. So he's like, man, I want to be a director, but never directed anything. Thought about directing, didn't have anything to support his director background. And out of the blue, he called my manager because he always, thought I was a good guy. He called my manager. He was like, I'm doing this project. I was wondering if Donnell would be interested. At that time, I didn't really know how much juice he had. I was like, I know you can't afford to pay me.
I don't think I did either.
Yeah,
based on what you're saying.
definitely
Did you have a lot of juice
I
at
didn't
this
know I
point?
was.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
Elijah.
zero juice, and I had zero money up the wazoo.
Well,
To be fair, there's no such thing as a quazoo.
But that is true.
That is not a thing.
I had a lot of money in the bank, but
But
almost none in
in
my
the quazoo.
and he
Wait, when can I jump in?
Yeah, Donnell's going into
I don't know when to jump in.
It's like fucking school, man. They always say raise your hand and answer the question.
No, but you did. You just spoke for 40 seconds straight.
I was trying.
I didn't know it was a timer.
All
right, okay, Neil. I'll make
you didn't know there was a timer.
I'll talk about shit in pool.
Look,
there's no timer. That the black man gets. I'm turning this shit into race.
No, you have.
I was trying to save it.
Yeah, no, it was a fucking. There was some end of the road shit.
No, if you knew how much steely determination it was taking me to not speak that whole time,
right.
I was like really focused on what you were saying.
You had a hernia.
Oh, I mean, my shit was. I was bubbling, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do. He's our guest. I want to be quiet.
He's our guest.
And I wanted to do when you said Octagon. You said sad about doesn't know about what. I wanted to say about the Ultimate Fighting Championship. I didn't make that joke. Now I have made it, but there's no resonance.
You know what?
To
I'm going to get you a pad and paper,
and I'll jump back in.
Then you'll just tell us all the things you didn't say. Donnell, go on. So what was that? I had tons of money. I
fucking hate you. This is a setup. Son.
I had Quazoo
money. You invited me to your podcast.
I had Quazoo money.
Fuck with me, son. Well, here's my story. This is the story. Neil was damn. Now I got to start all over. Anyway. He reached out to my manager. I want him to be in this short. I was like, "This, you can't afford to pay me, but if you're in a situation that you could throw me a bone, throw me a bone," which is something that we always talk about in entertainment, but people never throw a person a bone. So he was working on this project. It was untitled. He was like, "I'm working on something. I don't want to get ahead of myself, and I want to, if it goes down, I want you to be down." I'm like, "All right, motherfucker, call me later." Then he called me. I'm working on this show, it's Chappelle show, and that is how Neal Brennan and Donnell connection became like. The thing that we did.
But you were like one of the most popular characters on the show, correct?
I mean, some people would say that.
The standout characters from Chappelle,
like you would say.
Ashy Larry was a big. Everybody was talking about it. Yeah.
Donnell was what was hilarious about Donnell is he would.
I wanted, son. Can we just tell some stories, son?
Yeah, we're going to. I mean, assuming we can turn off Moshe's mic.
Turn the mic.
Can I just jump in and interrupt all those stories? That's what I want to know.
Is that? Put you in check and say it's because I'm black.
Yeah, you can check me anytime.
No, you go harder than that.
All right, here's a phrase.
You just pop me in the mouth.
People always. It's so funny. I could be right here and talk to you about it. People always say, "How was it?" and shit like that. Look, people know I'm rich, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying it forever. But what people don't know is that when we
wait, what does that mean? You've been saying it forever?
What?
You didn't say it before the show.
No, I'm just saying people have been saying it since the show.
Oh yeah.
They keep saying it. It's been a while. I was like, but it was funny because people didn't know we didn't have like crazy budget or anything. So like, when Spielberg and when they go on a live street. He's not interested.
I am interested. I'm doing all kinds of different stuff.
When they go on a live street, they'll shut it down.
Right.
It wasn't none of that. We just had a motherfucker like waiting for. Okay, the light is red. The light is green.
Oh yeah, for the pilot, we had nothing.
Yeah, it was like the light is red.
And the next day, we shot in front of like a rim store. Right. This is for the scene where Donnell says, "I'm rich, bitch." He's driving so you had to drive a truck.
No, wait a minute. This is what I not only had to drive a truck. I had to take the keys out of the truck. I had to hit a mark on the truck, and this fucking actress bitch on this fucking. She was on a couple of Apple boxes, and I had to do all this. And
I'm sorry to interrupt. She was on Apple boxes.
A couple of Apple boxes. For the people that don't know that, it's a very standard thing that people use in production. People
when you're shooting something, if someone's taller than the other person, like when Tom Cruise is in scenes, he's short, he will stand on an Apple box in a close up so that he's
so what
perpendicular.
It's like standing on a milk crate.
Yeah.
She's standing on a milk crate. I got to hit the mark, take the keys out, and say I'm rich, bitch, right? And this motherfucker kept like I could not get it right. I could not get it right, and I think you threatened me. You was like, "Yo, if you want this shit to make it, you better do this shit." And I got nervous. I'm like, because I was like, I don't want to lose this opportunity for the camera time, and in a desperate.
Well,
mode.
that's what I always say. I always just say to people like, "Yo, you can either be in the show."
Right.
Or not
before the first take.
No, I said it on like the 8th take, but I wasn't because it's like I'm friends with the guy, so I'm not.
Does that put you in your creative comfort zone when the director says this is the last cut and we're gonna?
No. I never say this is the last.
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, but he wasn't. You're like a fucking lawnmower where if you either have it or you don't. You either do it or you. So it's like with you, it's just like, son, fucking let's go.
Right.
You want to do it.
Right.
But it wasn't easy because he had to drive.
That's what I'm talking about.
He had to drive a truck, stop the truck.
Right.
A woman in a news
with a hot fucking light, like a light that's turning red and green.
Yeah.
With a chick that's
with a
right
microphone
by the
had to go like,
"What
are you saying?" And then you were like, "I just bought. I don't know what."
she said, "You gonna quit your job as a truck driver?" Truck driver? I ain't no truck driver. I'm a janitor. I bought these cigarettes, this truck straight cash. Then I got enough cigarettes to last me for the rest of my life, and I'm rich, bitch.
Right. Yeah.
But it was like it wasn't the line that made me nervous. I didn't want to run the bitch over, son.
No, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Look,
I'm like,
I get it.
It's a lot of shit going on right now, and to nail the line.
Also, you're never not nervous, so there's no point in like dealing with you. There's no good way, like Donnell, look, because you're still gonna be like, son. Donnell's thing was he would show up to set, and he would, even if he didn't have a line, he would just show up to set and then go, son, mic me because I'm saying something.
I gotta say something.
That's how
He
you got
would
in every
literally just
episode.
No, because it was
demand-
like what I gotta say. Like the time was so valuable. You know, working on that. Like you can look at some people look like, oh, I didn't have a word, but I was like, even if they don't let you say shit, son, you got to be around the shit. You know what I mean? Like if in the script, if he would write what, I would be in my dressing room practicing it like 13 different ways.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
no,
Like,
that was you. You auditioned because we were. What happened on the pilot is somebody else was in the pilot, and that we just gave the part to.
Right.
We just gave you that part, right?
Yeah,
You never. So we
everything.
just gave him the part in the pilot for I'm Rich Bitch,
Right.
and then somebody else bombed so fucking badly that we just gave a part to that we were like, this guy stunk. So we were like, all right, everybody's got to audition. We were just kind of
was
being
mad as
dicks,
shit.
but also like we were just sort of like being secure, trying to make sure we got.
Political.
Yeah, but it was also just like we just wanted to make sure. So you came in and
I was mad,
and
son.
read for a part, and you were. It was fucking the minute you did it. Me and Chappelle both started laughing on tape. It was a thing where he had to play a gangster, and Chappelle and Donnell just jumps into frame and goes like, and then I don't even know if you had a line, but me and Dave were both laughing. We were like, all right,
that was for the joint with
for
Dave
the
got
for
shot.
the Zap shit.
But
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what the story you didn't know before that. You know, because I wasn't on the show, but y'all like me.
Yeah.
You know, so he bombed. I'm like, this motherfucker fucked up so bad. Now we got to audition for shit.
Yeah.
And when you told me, you was like, yo, you got to audition. In my mind, I was like, nigga, why do I got to audition? I'm
Right.
good.
I know.
And then I had a decision. I was like, I could have tried to be asshole and been like, I don't audition. But
Right.
I was like, but my attitude, I was like, yo, fuck it then. I was like, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna rip this shit so hard.
Yeah, but I don't.
Yo,
think
I'm
that-
like, I'm gonna rip this so hard. We're not gonna do this shit.
I don't
no
think
more,
it
son.
would have been a good audition for anybody but me and Chappelle.
I think I
Do you know what I
shouted
mean?
y'all
Like
out,
if you just went like like in a TV show or movie, people
Right.
were like, "What are you doing?" But it was fun. And then
You're saying if it had been like actually
If it had been like The Wire,
the
I'm assuming
Untouchable, and he had jumped in on the wire like,
yeah,
it's possible.
yes,
That didn't have the
I
gritty.
did my own sound effects. son.
You did it, and then Bill Burr auditioned probably around the same time.
Yeah.
At Dave's behest, because Dave had been seeing him at the cellar, and Dave was like, "This Bill Burr's funny," and then Bill auditioned. And I remember we were watching the tape, and Chappelle goes, and Bill did good, and Dave goes, thank fucking God.
Yeah.
He can act, because he didn't want it to be like
Another one of those.
another dude who can't deliver.
Hey, Doug, what do you think about making your own sound effects?
What are you so angry about?
We need it, man.
Does
See?
laugh?
Tell
Quit
them
being
about
No, I
mad
like-
at
it's
me
not being
and
asked-
just love me again.
Yo, that sounds like definitely a Neal Brennan soundbite.
Quit being mad at me and just love me again.
That's what you want, Doug? I'm not. I like your mouth as much as I like your fingers.
Now, was that our Tyler Perry speaking just then?
That was our Tyler. That was white people's.
What's
Tyler
the
Perry.
worst? Speaking of Neal being an asshole, what's the
No, it wasn't
biggest?
in the worst situation. It was just a situation where, like, Neal knows everything. His voice, his tone is as if if you were thinking about something, he'll be like, "B, I thought about that 5 years ago." You know what I mean? Like before you, like, it's even hard to think about around him because you're like, I know what I'm thinking, but I know he already thought it before. So anytime you get a chance,
Moshe's like that though.
yeah.
How am I like that?
You're a know-it-all. You're a know-it-all, just like I'm a,
Neal.
just like I'm a know-it-all. You're a know-it-all.
Yeah, but you have more juice.
I got
He's
more
a know-it-all,
gravitas.
more juice.
Yeah. Funny thing is when know it all like they get caught out there. Like we were doing something, we were in the editing bay working on something, and Neal was trying to open up a file, and I was being funny, and I was like, I was trying to be funny. I was like, Neal, do you need a little help with that? And he gave me this look like, I know if I can't figure this out, there's no way in the world you'll ever be able to figure this out. He gave me that
It
look.
sounded like I was giving you an N-wordish.
Yeah, you did, and I was offended by it. It sounded like I don't know if I said I felt like you were trying to call me an N-word. You was looking like
You can say
I
it. Would
know
you?
it.
Oh yeah, you can say.
Yeah, I
that.
was like, did you just call me a nigger on the low, right? I thought you was like, it was so sorry. It was, the voice sounded like the iPhone guy voice. If you don't have an iPhone, well, just don't have an iPhone. He had that asshole voice, right?
But it was more
That
like
was the
if you're-
perfect
if-
Yeah,
impression.
but no.
If you're not black, if you're not white, you're just not white. I mean, that's the way that it is.
Yeah.
So he was like, then he gives me the mouse, right? He looks at me like, okay, well then, sound like he wanted to say, well then nigger, you open it, right? He said, well then you open it, right? And I got the mouse, and I think I was 2 clicks in, it was like, and it was open.
And you open, of course you
And
did.
I never seen his face turn another color like that. He was like, fuck.
Yeah.
What color did it turn? It would have been good
It was
if it
pink.
turned black.
It was-
Black would have been a good
I was
one.
choking at the time.
Yeah, it was pink.
Now, but you've had I do a joke about you're not really friends with black dudes until you can yell at each other.
And is it based on Donnell?
Yeah, it's mostly based on you and I have had huge fights,
Blow-ups.
huge arguments
I agree with the premise of that joke, actually.
for years.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
the thing about it,
But
when
it's with anybody, black or white.
Yeah, no,
but,
but
it's
that's
harder.
What I'm saying.
But what he's saying is that it's harder to get to the place. You got to let go of all of the society's baggage that it gives you in order to say, you know what, fuck it. Let's.
Yeah, but the point of the joke is that like white people have 2 different standards for their white friends and their black friends. And if you're really friends with someone, you will yell at a black person as soon as you would yell at a white person, which most white people can't do because I realized the other day that I stayed with a girl a year and a half longer because I didn't want to seem racist.
Because she was black?
She was black. Yeah.
I think Neal's not really friends with a black guy until he talks really condescendingly towards them.
That's fairly true. Well, though, no, because then I'd be friends with the entire world.
But you got to go, Neal. You have an argument with him, and it's like he don't yell. It's a whole, he's upset or whatever. When he get a whole bunch of. Here's the thing.
But that's
like,
your
when you-
HR
here's
guy.
the thing.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. And the funny thing when you argue with somebody that you care about, I know I'm getting emotional now, but like deep down somewhere, it's always going to be a place for them. The hardest shit is trying to make up because guys make up. When you try to make up, you can't just say I'm sorry or anything. Guys will be like, yeah, I was gonna have a beer and I was wondering if I got an extra beer over here. You
No,
gotta,
but you always come with like, son,
That's how I get dudes to suck my dick.
son, you've been
Say-
good to me.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. You got a sound effect for that?
Yeah, come on.
That's
Suck my dick.
Suck
my dick. Suck my dick. Bring over a beer and suck my dick. That one made
I'm not on
Donnell
that track.
uncomfortable.
I wasn't on that track. I was on
Yeah, Donnell said
That was Suck My
out,
Dick
son.
featuring Donnell Rawlings from the Chappelle Show.
Son, you'll come with like I'm passionate.
I
And
gotta let you know before I say fuck you. I gotta let you know how much I care.
no,
about
but you
first.
always say it. Well, I'm trying to look for a text from you because I think we got into a fight not
Yeah.
that long ago.
No, but I think this.
That's funny,
I think this brings up good points, which is.
Oh, this is great.
No, second.
What do you got?
This is such a good one.
Yo, you're a fucked up person, Neal. That's
The
fucked up. I thought we were
'cause-
ordering pizza, man.
never happened.
No, but here's the thing: is that we all walk through the world, and 50% of our communication is based on fear and image. Everybody's afraid that people think you're a bitch, so you don't want to say what's actually happening in your world. You don't want to tell a girl that you like, look, I just like you. I wish you would call me back.
Why don't?
Because we all maybe you don't, but I think most people walk around with these weights of fear, and the more shit you can get rid of and be your own genuine self, like when you're yelling at your black friend, that's having a real genuine
Yeah, but
human
it's
experience.
different when you're yelling at the person that employs you too.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean. Like,
Yeah, but I don't think you think of me.
No,
as
not
someone
in
that
that
employs
case.
you.
But I was saying,
Yeah,
right.
I was saying to following up on what you were saying.
You mean like when the dude's sucking my dick and
Yeah,
I'm
when
paying
that
him
guy
for
suck
it?
your dick.
Yeah.
Do the song again. This is the perfect time for it. Go.
That's not the song. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
DJ, turn it up, DJ.
All right. This is
Would you?
what were you saying?
That's what I want. That's what I want from Doug now. I want
dude, I gotta dance.
I want interludes. I want interludes from Doug.
I'm disagreeing with you. But Donnell, what were you saying though?
I don't know. It's every time you talk about sucking a dick, it's like
It's a derailer
a
for you.
segue changer, man.
Yeah, that's the
All
thing.
right,
Black
so
dudes have no sense of humor.
Yeah,
About
we are.
That is true.
You're fucking with the champs.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Champs Podcast. We're
Son,
here
should
with
I read
Donnell.
should I read our text argument?
We're here with Donnell
No,
Rawlings.
you can read it if you want, son. I was feeling a certain kind of way.
This is that's son. I was feeling like.
Yo.
All right, so this is Donnell did something. He appeared somewhere where I didn't think he should have appeared, and did something that I didn't agree
Yo, I
with
thought
him
we were
doing.
ordering pizza, son.
That I don't agree with. So I wrote him just out of the blue. Son, you played yourself.
That's out of the blue. That's the first text I get.
Yeah.
It wasn't no hey.
Where did he appear?
nothing.
I don't want to say.
Let's
Can
not.
I say it?
Well,
Yeah.
what? Let's not.
Avion Crockett. He had
Okay.
a show on Fox. It is called In the
Oh, I
Club
heard
with
about
Avion
this.
Crockett. It's a sketch show. And I did
Donnell appeared as Ashy Larry on another person's sketch show.
spoofing, but spoofing a show. Spoofing a show, not doing that character in any other.
Did you make up that character?
What?
Did you invent that character?
That is not my intellectual property. I get that.
I'm just wondering. I don't know.
Doug works for Neal, by the way.
listen, I know.
but
just
that's-
wondering.
but
I'm
that's
just
a
saying.
relevant
What I'm
kind of
telling
the
you is,
context here.
I know it's not my intellectual property. You know what I'm saying? I know that. It was a spoof.
You didn't tell Neal?
No.
Okay.
I
I'm
know
just getting the
it-
story.
oh, come on.
No, I'm just getting the story.
Come on. But it was a spoof. Avion plays Dave Chappelle in the skit, and Avion plays Dave Chappelle. He plays himself, and he's calling Dave Chappelle for advice. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what should I do? And then he did a really good special Dave Chappelle. And then I popped up as the Ashy Larry character from the Chappelle show within the spoof of Chappelle show.
So Neal contacted you and said,
Right.
yo, you played yourself, son.
Right.
Which is
Okay.
how I would have said it, too, to be fair. Yo, I would have done a J. Rue the Damager line. Boom.
Played yourself.
You played yourself. With
This
all
is
rah,
at
rah, rah, rah.
7:28 p.m.
And
August
then-
14th.
And then Donnell says,
comes back August 14th, 9:09. I was waiting for your negative energy.
People are so hungry.
But also glad you watched the show.
it's a double. He's double skewering you with
Yeah.
two different rapier swords at once.
That's funny.
Call me when you have something good to talk about. I know who I am, son.
I know.
how to quit you.
Exactly. I know who I am, son. I know what I do on stage and on camera. If you don't have anything good to say, keep it to yourself. Did you watch the show to reflect on how good you were?
Okay.
And
No, shut the fuck up, man.
Who's saying this? Who's saying this right now? Is
chill,
this
man.
Neal or is this you?
This is Neal. Okay. This is me. Neal is doing a horrible impression of me, but he's telling it.
I'm just wondering who is
All
he
we
reading now?
have
Him
to
or
do-
And this is our podcast,
This
too.
is all we have
Just so
to do.
you know.
I'm only a guest.
this is Donnell cutting
No,
off.
I
Donnell
did
just
radio.
told Moshe to shut the fuck up.
No, the
That's
reason why I said it because you were in it. Save it. Let him. It was interesting. Just him.
To be fair, it's a very long text.
So what?
You
What
don't-
else
you
gotta
don't know
do?
that.
What the fuck else do you have to do right now? You got a spot right now you got to get to real quick? You were late.
That's right.
You were
Moshe was
fucking
late
late.
for this recording.
You were fucking late.
I like to be.
You late and then you don't want nobody to fucking talk.
I want you.
We have a fucking bond here, man. All right? We
Have
got
you
a
not
fucking
heard the-
bond.
have you not heard
this
the
is like
text?
Phil Jackson.
He knows who he
this
is.
is like Phil Jackson. This is. I love fucking Neal, okay? I mean, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I fucking love Neal.
That's what. That's
yeah,
it.
that's what I meant
I
to
love
say.
fucking. I love fucking
So
Neal.
I'm sorry that we're going to have more of a connection on certain
I
things.
want you to.
All you have to do is just fall back and let him do the text.
I've been fall back.
All right. I did radio.
I
Go,
know
Neal.
who I am, son.
This is me. You just-
I know what I do on stage and on camera. If you don't have anything good to say, keep it to yourself. Did you watch the show to reflect on how good you were and how you turned your back on sketch comedy? Or did you watch it thinking you had the opportunity to produce something in that time slot and work with me again? Whatever it was you watched, and while whatever it was you watched, and while you watched millions of people laugh either at me or with me, you have no idea how it feels, or is to have to answer the same question for 5 years because people recognize you from the show. You really could have kept that comment to yourself. And for your
That was
close
an epic.
and for your close
Shut
friends,
the fuck up, Doug. Go
and
ahead.
for your close friends, comma Dave Chappelle is my close friend.
That was an epic.
That was epic.
Yeah.
That was an
And
incredible.
you did everything to try to side.
This
fry
isn't
it.
about our relationship right now,
tried to-
Donnell.
You did everything.
You know,
Donnell,
Moshe, you tried
right?
to side fry it.
Yeah, something.
Donnell,
you
right
did.
now, this is about your relationship with Neal and not our relationship. I respect what you did. I thought that was that was an epic response to
It was an
you
epic
played-
comeback.
you
And I wish I
played-
could say those words every time somebody hates on Twitter.
Yeah, all of those words.
Yeah, I want to just. Can I just
No, I
copy and
think
paste
you
that?
responded with a K after that, and I think I really
No. The K's
What-
coming.
what
I
was
came
your
back
response?
with. He said to talk about.
K.
He talked about something. K is really the ultimate.
K.
It's
K.
and I was sitting on it. You know,
you're like fuck you, man.
Say all that shit. And he's like,
I keeps a K in the
I
back
know.
pocket.
Or a word.
Yeah, that's
Word.
what's up. All right, that's what's up.
I think K
Okay.
is worse.
K is the worst.
K is like you're talking
K is
to
the
a child.
worst. Yes.
So what do you got?
He said all that shit, and then I said, give them something else to talk about, Donnell. I haven't been able to, but I've tried with movies and shit. Also, I made a fucking pilot with you and gave you a part in a movie, so you really have nothing to feel sorry for yourself about. Also, Ashy Larry's not your intellectual property, and it makes it seem like me and Dave endorsed Afion's show in some way, and the reason you were so prepared for me to say something is that you knew it was a whack thing to do. The reason he had a fucking 5-segment text ready is because he had already had the argument with me in his head.
That's what you think.
I was going to say that, but then
know-
I thought that you would be upset at me for saying it.
I'll probably be upset anything you say.
I know. I feel that way now.
Yeah, but it's cool. But I know that we can still work it out.
Yeah.
So, did you or did you not? Were you not sitting on a response? I mean, you thought about doing it,
What?
doing Afion's show with a character that Dave and I had.
You know what? No, this is the thing that, and this is what really went through my mind when I did it. Right. Originally, when we did it, they just wanted me to be Donnell coming in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They just wanted Donnell just to pop up. You know what I'm saying? And I was
Right.
cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I was really cool with that. I was like, okay, it's a good. It's the skit is funny. You know what I'm saying? It's a good shot or whatever. You know, I was like, boom, we do it like that. And then they were like, do you mind if you put some powder on you or whatever, right?
I like that it's
They
tricked him. I like that it's like
I'm
porn.
telling you.
That's like your version of pornography. It's like, Donnell, would you mind taking your shirt off? And
yeah,
putting
there's like
some
do you
powder.
mind we put powder, and I was like, I ain't really trying to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this is really what went through.
Right.
I was like,
Why weren't you trying to do it?
Because the reason why I know that I'm bigger than that.
Right.
And I kind of agree with you, but it's just the way it was communicated. I know I'm bigger than that. You know, I know that's not only me. And, you know, and I struggled with that for like about 30 minutes. You know, I was like, should I do it? I'm like, and all I kept on saying, I was like, oh, man. I was like, but that shit gonna be, it would be funny as a motherfucker. And then at that moment, I was like, what do I have? I have 3 seconds to 5 seconds, like, on the camera. I get what you're saying.
Right.
I was like, what would make the most impact and be the most outrageous and be the funniest for that moment? And I chose that. And I agree with you, and I chose that.
You know what I think? I think you should have that intellectual property because you did it best. You know, that's how the reggae artists do it. Whoever does this,
I'll
whoever
I'll
does it
explain
best
that.
owns it. Whoever does it best owns it.
Is that true?
Yeah.
No,
As
it
far
wasn't-
as I know,
no,
that
let me
doesn't
say-
hold
can I
up
say
in
this?
court.
Can I
Not
say
in
this?
court, but that's how it should be. That's how the
interesting.
world should work.
Can I say this? Now, I understand what you're saying. Had it been, and people have come to me and asked me, could you be in my music video as Ashy Larry? Can you
Right.
do that? You know what I'm saying? Had it been a situation where they tried to, you know, have that character in something that wasn't even connected,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been no. But because
I know, but it's like wasn't even connected to what?
I love
no,
the.
it was fucking funny, son.
I love the idea of this show on Fox, though, slowly tricking you into doing Ashy Larry. They're like, "Will you just?
No.
Would you just mind taking your shirt
No,
off?"
they went.
Can
And
we
let
just
me
throw-
tell you that they didn't want.
Can
Let
we
me
just-
explain this. All right?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to have a real conversation. I'm not going to make up a joke. I'm going to tell you like a real story.
That was he just shit on Moshe. You
Again, what have I
what's
done?
great
I'm
I
is-
planning
waited.
this. I'm talking to you.
I
What's
waited.
great
I'm not
is-
planning this. I'm talking
I
to you.
waited for a break for this
What's
great
great
joke
is
about.
Donnell is the only Doug. You are the white Donnell in that you get your feelings get hurt and
My
then you
feelings not hurt.
recede. You're mad or something.
No, I'm not mad. I'm responding to a certain thing. I'm not angry. I'm responding to something.
Okay.
No, what I'm saying, like, you said something. See, this is what happened. when this is what. Let me tell you.
I was making a joke
No,
about
I know, but I'll
Avion
tell you.
tricking you into doing the Ashy Larry character by saying you take off your shirt and then throw in some flour. You'd be like, "You're going to be dry skin Bob. We'll do dry
Right,
skin Bob.
yeah.
Just do the same Ashy Larry voice. Boom, action." But I know that didn't really happen. That was just an anecdote.
You're like, when I was learning how to do radio, you're an example of what not to do.
Well, this isn't.
I'm
to be
just
fair,
telling you,
to be
I'm
fair,
being honest. They used to tell me I was you.
Right.
You know, they told me like you're disrupting the flow. How does that? They're like, how does that move the storyline?
What's hilarious is I don't even agree with you, but
All right.
it doesn't. Well, we're not doing radio. Just to be clear, this
Yeah.
is a podcast, not radio. So it's a whole different genre than radio.
When I say it's not, it's the same genre. You want the same people that listen to radio. It's the same thing. People listen to something. It's the same as radio. You don't have the commercials and everything. It's the same as radio.
I kind of have to agree with him on that.
I don't
It's
think
a sound.
I don't
People
think it's
talking.
radio. Yeah, well, it's definitely
This
an
is
audio.
radio.
Oh, this is radio. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we have a new name because we can't just keep saying radio because the kids like, I don't fucking listen to radio. I listen to podcasts.
yeah,
It's the same thing.
the kids.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Can I
getting
tell-
shut down.
Can I? I
No,
well,
so-
Everybody's
I think-
getting shut down.
No, I
I shut Doug down right before we went on air. Apparently, I just said that,
Is that good?
you
Is-
should do an interlude instead of the drops because people get mad at the drops and they say that they break the flow of the conversation. And now Donnell is saying that Moshe breaks the flow of the conversation. So it seems like the only person who doesn't break the flow of the conversation is me, but I'm a dick.
Is your old friend?
From what I can hear, I'm an asshole.
No, you're not. Yeah, you are an asshole. But it's like a cool asshole. You know, like I'll give you a asshole. Really could have been an asshole. Was real subtle about it. When we used to live in New York, Neal Brennan let me use his camera and shit. I was like, "Yo, son, I don't got no camera. Can I use your camera?" And at the time, it was a top of the line camera.
Yeah.
I think it was like $2,500 at the time.
33 grand.
Yeah, it's just something that like black people would never let another black person hold or anything. I'm like, I can't believe this nigga let me hold his camera. I could just break out. And I had this fucking Saturn, this hoopty car. It was a Saturn. And I put the fucking camera in the trunk, and I went to visit a friend. And when I came out, I just saw the trunk half open, and my heart dropped. I was like, oh shit. And I was like, please be in it, please be in it, please be in it. And it wasn't in it. I was like, how the fuck do you tell a motherfucker that you don't have his $3,500 camera? And when I told him that, I was like, I couldn't afford to pay for anything. And I told him, and he didn't stress the shit. He was like, don't worry about it, B. He was like, but just a rule, you never put a $3,500 camera in a $600 car. Yeah. You know, and he could have been more of an asshole, but it was like a nice little subtle way to say, fuck it, don't worry about it.
Moshe, was there anything you wanted to say about that?
No, I'm fine.
Doug?
I'm great. I'm fine.
Donnell?
No, I'm cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear?
I want pizza.
I'm just ready for the
You
next
said-
You're
story.
going to get pizza.
You said we
You know
were
what?
at
Maybe
pizza.
if you gave him some pizza,
He'd be more open.
tensions
to
would
it.
be
He wouldn't be
eased,
so cranky.
and you wouldn't shit on me.
Donnell, also,
I would.
I'm not cranky, son. You know I'm not cranky. Is this not me?
This is absolutely you.
Yo,
This
see,
is
here's
you.
a-
Well, let me
am,
tell.
son.
Here's me. I think about. The problem is that I don't know you well enough to know if I can poke back at you.
Please
So that,
do.
You
'cause
can't
You can?
poke like you know.
because I don't want to end up with you getting actually mad at me.
This is when I say ready. If I get, we got really mad.
But this isn't radio, Donnell.
no,
It's just
I'm telling you,
not.
If we really got mad right now and we went to blows,
It
and
would
shit,
get a lot of views or listens.
No, it would be so real. You would be going crazy. He would put ring noise in, ding, 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 ding.
You mean if we fought? I don't think
I'm
we're.
not poking at you. I don't want to poke fun at you.
You know, one of the reasons Moshe wanted to do a podcast is so that he couldn't talk. That was his thing. He was like, I want to do a
wanted to be
podcast,
quiet.
but I definitely want to not
I
talk.
want to be quiet for a long time.
and listen.
Listen for the flow.
You're
but,
weird.
Wait, but can we tell a story about our relationship that you don't know about?
You and I?
And this will be a callback to an earlier episode of The Champs. You remember that story, Neal and Doug, about Laugh-A-Palooza, where I was called out? Remember Weed Man? And I
Yeah.
was doing all of these shows where
Yes.
there were no audience members.
This was like
And it
your
was
final. You were going to quit comedy.
the most painful experience of my life. There was one of the shows. This, I think, was the show where there were literally no audience members. But there was Donnell Rawlings was there watching all of us fail, and I really was embarrassed.
Where was that?
It was in Atlanta, and it was in 2000.
Oh, it was at this Laughing Skull. Was it
No, the Laughing Skull hadn't opened
Was
yet.
it Funny Farm?
No, it was like a bar, and they had brought us out to be new faces. I've told this story on the
Lapalooza, the festival.
Yeah, the festival.
Yeah.
But they brought us this group out to be new faces, but they hadn't promoted the shows at all.
They didn't
so
promote
it was
anything.
literally no one in the audience.
It was a
but
nigger
you,
festival.
but you were there. I was one of the few, one of the few non ends.
Yo,
there.
that is, you know what? That's weird because Lapalooza is not really. It is a black. How did you get
Did
it?
they change the name?
I used to be-
It was called Nigger Festival, correct?
Yeah,
and they changed it to.
We said we may have.
And when I
the
was
same
asked
names.
to do it, they stopped calling it Nigger Festival, and they said
because of you.
because of me.
So
Moshe
you
Kasher.
stopped. So we can't say nigger anymore. Why?
No,
That's a white guy.
I used to be slightly more urban in my act than I
That
am now.
shit's stressful, right?
To fake urban.
Be real niggerish, right? I know you were like at the beginning. It felt like a good idea, right? You were like, "This is incredible," and then after a while, you was like, "Whoa." Nobody from the industry comes here.
Well, that was intense, but you were there, and I was like, "Fuck!" Now I'm bombing in front of an established comedian who I know and respect.
That's nice, man.
Well, he didn't like you because you talked.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't dislike
He was. Yeah, I remember him yelling from the back of the room, "You're fucking up the flow. I do radio." He said that back then.
This
in
is
2000.
exactly. I've been in this business a long time. You were an example of what not to do.
When I first was starting stand-up comedy, I was you, and they said, "Don't do
Yeah,
that."
I told you, I was you. They hated me for me being me and you being you, who I was.
He cut off his own flow somehow.
Yeah.
He's
But-
like by himself.
By the way, I'm not done with Donnell's text.
Oh, should we go back there? Because I thought this would be an interesting way.
What's that?
The thing about being more urban when I was new, I think
Herbal or urban?
So urban or whatever.
Okay, all right.
Because like, here's the thing: I grew
Or
up in
niggerish.
I would not say that, but
I know, but you will feel it.
But
You will feel
I
it.
grew
it.
up. I grew up. So I grew up.
You
in,
will feel it
Have you
deep.
ever felt it? Like not said it, but like everything in your
Oh,
body
like saying
indicated nigger, but never
one,
said it.
I called the guy nigger one time in
What
my life.
was the situation?
I grew up in Oakland Public Schools.
Oh, you can say nigger. if
Well,
you go.
here's what happened. So this dude was yelling. They would all call me white boy. They would call me honky. They would
I
call
can see
me
that.
chicken bread, white chicken bread, bologna tits. They would call me all that shit.
Right.
And then they would call me that all the time. And there's one dude, Daryl. I was out and he was talking shit. And he's like, "You white fucking chicken bread, fucking pale face honky motherfucker, freckle ass face mother." Just again and again and again, and we were about to fight. We were getting closer, closer.
Chicken bread.
And finally,
I've never heard chicken bread. I like that.
well, it was white bread, and then it was an extension of,
And then they
of white
breaded
bread.
you?
They had somehow
Yeah.
chicken breaded me, and the dude just goes, "You white," and I finally was just like, "You, nigger," and everybody on the playground was like, "Koosh." Like everybody dropped their ball, and it like looked.
What
Like,
happened after that?
what happened was he was like, "Dog, you can't call me that," and then he punched me in the stomach.
In
That
the
was
stomach.
nice of him.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
nice.
Yeah, it was. He was
For
giving
him
me.
to say you can't say that, let you know.
Yeah.
That you can't say it, but then to do a body punch, that's nice.
Yeah,
to
it's
do.
Dude, all of the
punches
lessons-
hurt. I haven't been punched
Well,
in the stomach in forever.
I will
used-
punch you in the stomach if you. I will.
Get it hurt. If you're not ready, yeah.
It'll hurt.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that was the only time I ever actually called someone a nigger. But later in life, when I would use the word nigga.
Right.
As a reclamation of the word
Nigger. Right.
It was a re-reclamation because I was my people, white people that wished they were black, were reclaiming it from actual black people who had reclaimed it from white people. So it's a very complicated process.
And that's
And
where
this
we
is
have
one of
the
the-
white niggers in the suburbs now, right?
That's what I was the original.
You was the original
white
wigger?
Wigger, the original wigger. I was
Yeah.
one of the original wiggers. But when I started stand up, for some reason I had gotten away from I had done a lot of searching who I was and figuring out that I was
you got
fronting
away
and
from
blah blah
niggers
blah.
at that time?
No, I still had a lot of black friends, but I was just like what happened was this black dude threatened to beat my ass, who's a good friend of mine. This is back to having black friends. He was a good friend of mine. He's like, "You keep saying nigga, you keep saying you're from North Oakland," because I used to claim North Oakland. That was a thing that I was into when I was young.
Right.
And he was like, "You ain't from North Oakland, and you ain't no nigga, and I'll beat your ass if you ever say that again." And I was like, "Okay." Like
you
I got
never
it.
said it again?
I never said it again. That was the end. But then when I started stand up, I sort of was blacking it up with. I didn't know why
You know
I was
what's
doing
funny
that.
is I keep waiting for the moment where I'll never say it again.
What?
Like I saw a tweet from Chuck D the other day that was like, the fact that people say the N-word across racial lines is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I was waiting for that like moment where like, you know what, Neal, it's time to stop saying it, and it hasn't come yet.
Yeah, people make all the arguments they want. It just don't have the effect. I look at it like this: when you use words with hate, you know what I mean? When you use words with
Yeah.
hate and to try to make somebody feel bad, that's when you know it's the wrong word to use. You know, I mean, it's what makes hate crimes and shit. You know, you could one time you could have an argument with a gay guy, right? But then and it could be like
No argument here. Go ahead.
You have an argument with a gay guy, but then you throw faggot in there, like it's a fucking hate crime. I don't agree with hate crimes. I agree in saying whatever the fuck you want
You
to say.
agree with regular.
But you're a
time.
comedian, so you have a particular relationship with words, which is different than a regular.
You
human
agree
being.
with borrowing a camera than having one of your friends fake break into your car,
I would never do
taking
that.
the camera and fencing it.
I would never do that. I wouldn't be able to sleep hustling you like that. I felt bad. I wanted to be able to. And then when I got to a point where I was making some money to pay him back, he wouldn't let me pay him back.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I got a tweet from.
I was like, yo, when we did Rich Bitch tour, when it started cranking a little, I was like, yo, Neal, you was like, yeah, don't even worry about. You said, don't even worry about it. Pay me back with something else. It wasn't no money thing. I was like, word?
How would
Great.
someone know how to get into a Saturn's trunk? This doesn't
I was
add
in a
up.
cracking. I was in the
No one could just like pick that lock. They're gonna look at that car and be like,
I
no,
was
nothing's
on-
in that trunk.
All right, here we
I
are.
have a
Something
few
doesn't add
questions
up here.
about
Let me
this
drop
whole
a pin
Saturday.
on you. Let me drop a
Do you
pin
have
on you.
any like high res photos of that lock
No.
I can check
I
out?
can drop a pin. The address, it was 118 between Frederick Douglass Boulevard and Adam Clayton Powell. And whenever you got two historical figures like that, the chance of someone
Your
being
shit's
breaking your
getting
car.
popped. Yeah.
We need Officer McNulty here to figure this out.
Word.
Boom. Go back to the wire. Oh, you got some more tweets?
I know what my intellectual properties are. I don't feel sorry for myself.
I agree with him on
This
that.
is
one.
Neal Brennan doing me. In
Yeah,
the
but
text message.
it's not the law. The law is if me and Dave write a sketch, here's how the sketch worked. We had the sketch.
You know what else
I
is
said,
illegal?
What?
Is legal killing people on death row when they're innocent? Is that cool?
Well, no, I would sometimes. I mean, if
Wait,
they're not, no, but that's not legal. It gets overturned because it's not legal. This is legal. If I'm writing a sketch and I happen to be talking to Donnell and I say, "What do you want to play in the sketch?" Or I said, "You play a guy who lives upstairs, has to take the trash out, and lose all his money." And then you said, "Can he be Ashy's son?" And I was like, "Yep." And then me and Dave were writing that night, and I wrote Ashy Larry. Okay, so
Oh, Ashy was your idea?
the ash part.
The Ashy part.
the Ashy part.
That's pretty significant.
I agree.
sounds like-
Ashy Larry is
Without Ashy, it's just Larry.
exactly now, but calling him Ashy Larry, we made it like a cartoon. So everybody. I'm not saying he didn't contribute because he absolutely did, but it's still technically it's not even me and Dave's intellectual property. It's Comedy Central's. So anyway, so I know what my intellectual properties are. I don't feel sorry for myself. I've done an hour special since then. I've produced and directed a hot short since then. I've done mad shit since then. I appreciate everything you've done for me, but to say it looks like you and Dave endorsed it is a selfish statement to make. I do a lot of shit away from that show. It was a spoof. It was a cameo, and it was funny. Maybe not to you or your best friend who threw you under the bus to make you out to be a racist. I don't give a fuck what Dave thinks anymore. I was as much a part of the success
You don't
of
have
that
to include
show
the typos.
as then he goes on to name a bunch of fucking Danielle, Michelle, Carl, Bobcat, Rusty, Nina. I don't know who Nina was.
Nina dates Bill Burr.
Oh, that's Nia.
Nia, okay.
And everybody else was, when you stop saying you're the co-creator of it, I'll stop taking shit. I'll stop doing shit to keep my fucking face relevant. Got love for you, son. But I'm sensitive to this. You don't have to respond. And this is the fastest you've responded to anything from me in the last 4 years.
There's the Colonel.
Just
in there,
saying.
too.
Then I hit him with cool. Cool?
I was
Yeah.
mad as shit. I went to my girl. I was like, this motherfucker gonna put cool. I was mad as shit.
Of course.
Cool.
Cool.
That's not a rant from someone who thinks that you're right. That's a rant from someone who knows in their soul that how dare you say that to him.
I would say that that's a rant that has nothing to do with doing Ashy Larry on that show on Fox.
Of course.
But much more to do with established history.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got nothing, and it's also an argument that you've yelled at me 1,000 times when I wasn't there, like you've in your head. You've yelled
I
that at
thought
me.
about that one before. I didn't just go in because I tried to make it. I was like, he's going to stop reading if it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So I took my time. I was like, how you spell this, bitch? Because he's going to hit me with like, I can't read this. He'll probably come back with like, what does that word mean?
Oh, that same thing with the mouse.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to write me a text on an
let me see you
iPhone.
open that. Yeah.
Yeah. But then we were cool. I don't.
Yeah.
I know that's how you feel. Like you've gotten mad at me before because of that.
Right.
Well,
Let the man work. Can he get a gig?
I know, but here
Is that going to ruin
my
history? Is that going to ruin the whole history of like everything you've
It's just
invented?
one of those things. Like if
I'm
there's something,
sympathetic to both sides here, actually.
I
get
am
it.
too.
But
Honestly,
you know another thing, and it was so funny because that, like, they really when they did the show, they really wanted me to be down with the show. You know what I'm saying? But dude, it was Jamie and Avion together. You know, and I think Jamie kind of distanced himself from it.
Yeah.
You know, like closer to the end of it. But they wanted me on the show. But then I was like, it was almost like at the beginning. It was weird for me to be on that set because I just started having flashbacks of doing sketches with you guys.
Right.
You know, I was like, God damn. You know, we used to have this type of energy.
Donnell one time fell asleep on set for 5 hours straight.
Where? Oh, that was
on
the
a
man
live, on a hot set. We were shooting, and he was in the corner, just like.
Was it during a sketch or during?
It was
a
during
live,
it was during a sketch.
but live
and-
studio audience or no?
No, there was no studio audience.
I was
And
just hanging out.
We actually didn't need sound. It was that Dave slow motion sketch,
Right.
so it was all like music and shit. So
Y'all recorded that shit too, didn't you?
I think we did, yeah. Yeah, so you felt a kinship with, and if Avion or anybody's gonna go to Avion and be like, yo, they were dissing you, but look, dude, if imagine somebody else does a sketch show now and does a character from your show, you'd be a little bit like, yo, the fuck, You'd be a little bit.
I would be that way, but I know.
I'm talking to Avion.
Right.
Is he here?
No, he's not here. No, I'm just saying I would be that way, but like I just thought that because it was a spoof, you know, it wasn't like you're trying to put that character in something else. It was a spoof, and it was about Dave, and I was a part of it. I looked at it like it was a spoof. You know, it's the same way. Like, they could have got anybody to act like an ashy guy, but I thought it was a spoof. But
It wasn't like another Ashy Larry skit.
Oh,
No, it wasn't
could.
another-
You're
it
saying they
was-
could have gotten some other actor to go out and be quote unquote Ashy Larry.
Yeah, and they wanted me to be down with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They wanted me to be down with it. They wanted me to be down with the show. But this is how kind of like Chappelle Show kind of, you know, bit me in my ass a little bit because Avion and executive producers, they wanted me to be down with the show.
Right.
But then Fox was like, we don't want people to think Chappelle Show, you know, be compared.
Right, which is why he came out with a microphone in front of the studio audience
Yeah, maybe.
because they didn't want people to think Chappelle
Did
show.
it air already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the show went. I heard that the show didn't go.
No,
They aired them, but they're just burning them off.
I've never even heard of this show.
Was the Untitled Jamie Foxx project?
It's called
I
In the
remember
Flow.
that.
Yeah.
And it changed into this, right?
It
That's
wasn't
the same
sponsored
thing?
by Avion Water because that's what I've been thinking the whole time.
No, but when I was watching it, what I did think of, I was like, you know, when I was watching it, and then I was like, you know, hearing the Twitter feedback and the Facebook stuff, they weren't really shitting on the show. You know what I'm saying? And it just made me think of like when we worked together, how
Everything
fucking
I saw
fun.
on Twitter was shitting on it.
It was shitting on it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I was on the guys. I was on Avion's timeline, so you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like, if you
boys are never going to be like, fuck you,
He's got to
motherfucker.
retweet some like shit.
Yeah,
Which is-
exactly.
it's funny that you mentioned that, Donnell, because I was just thinking of what the Twitter and iTunes feedback is going to be from this very episode, and I know people are going to be talking shit about me and being like, yes, Donnell was talking shit, shut him down, dope, we like that, good.
Well,
I know.
what's funny is that happened the other day, and
I've-
then he forwarded it, and then Doug goes,
Oh,
yo,
yeah.
you got schooled. Now, meanwhile, you've gotten schooled on Twitter, too, and we're all going to get
Some
it.
random dude was like, but it's just funny that we had this conversation because some random
you know what's
dude.
funny though, and it relates to this is like I sent out an email. We were going to do this podcast this week. I have a lot of shit going on. I'm stressing out. I can't do it Thursday. Can we do it another night, guys? And then it's like 24 hours go by, no responses. And then on Twitter, it's like, Moshe keeps cutting everyone off. He's annoying. And I like forward it like, yeah, I agree. And then like 1 second later, it's like, hey, man, don't like you responded to that instantly.
You were forwarding a hater.
No, but you
some random Twitter hater.
You gotta, but
you were.
No, but
like
you
you
didn't
were.
respond to my email
That's
about
not true.
a real.
But people got to know your haters
That's
too,
true.
man. You can't. They got to know who hates you too. Those are fucking.
Also, that was a very mild. It was not even a hater. It was just.
It's just like
It was pretty insulting.
you were forwarding some dude.
It was constructive criticism.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it
it
was like
wasn't.
Moshe needs
That
to shut the fuck up. That's not that constructive.
It was not. It was constructive criticism.
Felt like destructive criticism, particularly because when everybody was shitting on you in the drops, like me, for instance, you got upset, and you're still upset. Because
I'm
I
not upset.
could have forwarded all of those tweets to you.
I did one.
And been like,
I did one. And I did
booyah.
it because you wouldn't respond to my. I was trying to do a business email, and you would not respond.
you
are
could
gonna
just
have-
email
we're gonna
them
ha-
again. You don't have to be like, this is not only am I mad at you, how many more fights do you think we're going to get into, son?
I think we're past that. I think the
We're
last
past
one,
that.
that last
Now
text.
we're.
Yeah, that last text was like one that I think we could probably get 3 or 4 good years before we go again.
And it was all on text too, so it's like not. It wasn't the conflict.
No, the funniest part for me hearing him do that was how he tried to do my voice and got more into it and the way your shoulders was pointing at the shit. Yeah,
I wasn't
son.
even doing you. I mean, I could have done you, but I wasn't.
That's funny.
I
That
wasn't
was
doing you.
hilarious.
Now, son, what do you got? What's going on with your life? What are you busy with?
I'm busy with my girlfriend.
Okay,
You know.
she's here, by the way. What's your name, young lady? Blake.
That's Blake.
Now, this is let me describe Blake. Light-skinned black girl, mixed, I'm thinking. Blonde, looks a bit like has Khalees hair. Khalees, the singer Khalees. I'm sure you do.
Beautiful.
Anyone that people look like they hate.
Yeah.
I fucking hate her.
I know, that's why I don't like Denzel.
He licked his lips when he did it too. He straight up.
That's why I hate
He
Denzel.
licked
Yeah.
his lips a la Denzel in that moment.
Yeah.
I look like Joel Madden from the group Good Charlotte, the one that dates Nicole Richie.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have that look. I mean, not that he's an unattractive guy. I'm not saying he is.
I don't agree with you.
Oh, good.
I was about
I'm
to
fine
say
with
that I know Joel.
You look like the guy from ESPN.
Yeah, the kid
Not
on
Joel, Benji, right?
No,
Benji. I know.
Benji.
I know the one who's
Whichever
married
one
to
it
Nicole
is.
Richie.
That one.
the one that the guy that he has it where he has like 4 or 5 people and they get a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
to talk.
pardon the interruption.
Yeah, pardon me.
I look like Seth Meyers, him. Everybody, you're all invited. This for the audience and the people. I'm doing a weekly show in Santa Monica
Where?
at the West Side Comedy Theater. 9 o'clock every Sunday. 9 o'clock West Side Comedy Theater every week. It's going to be good people every week. Like last week, it was Dimitri Martin and me and Gerard Carmichael, and
I like Gerard Carmichael.
I do too.
Funny.
Funny guy.
This week, Bill Burr's doing it. Steve Byrne, funny people, and Donnell. You guys have an open invite.
Is it the
That's
one in the alley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk about Burning Man for a second.
Nah. No. Okay. I will.
Moshe,
what do you want to know?
went to Burning Man?
That's why there was a bit of a lag between podcasts. I was gone for a few weeks out at Burning
How long
Man.
were you at Burning Man? I thought it's like a 1 week situation.
What is Burning Man?
It's like a big art festival. I mean, I'm gonna get shit on for saying this too. Really, what I want to talk about is internet cruelty, but that's always what I want to talk about.
I'm completely open minded about Burning Man.
But Burning Man is.
I've only heard cool things about it from people who've gone there, and I heard like everyone hates on it.
people hate
who
on it
don't
super
go.
hard. People hate
For
on hard.
people like me that
It's got
don't
a
know,
stigma
what is
to
it?
it.
What do you mean by people like you?
Like people that don't know what the fuck Burning Man is.
It's an art festival.
Black people.
Okay,
Not all
yeah.
black people at the time.
Is there any black
It is a
people there?
pretty white. There are black people, but it's a disappointingly small amount of black
It's
people.
like Art Basel in Miami.
What is that?
It's Art Basel.
It's
like
an art. It's like
an
an
art
art
festival
festival.
where all the
but
Let me
it's-
describe Burning Man, having never been there.
Go. I'm very
They go
curious.
out into the middle of the desert, like where it's just salt flats, right?
It's just flat.
Maybe
it
it's
looks like
not-
the moon.
No
it looks
salt.
like the surface
it's just
of
a
the
big,
moon.
flat, gigantic, massive area.
Nothing.
That they turn into a whole city. And when you get in there, you can't use money to buy anything except water.
There's ice and there's coffee.
Ice and coffee are the only things you can actually pay for. Everything else is barter. So it's like this huge hippie utopia where everyone just goes and they dress up their cars and they make everything look, they make giant art
Art cars.
installations that are also
true.
Art
What does
cars,
that mean,
They
art
make giant,
cars?
they make giant installations, and you get on a bus, and the whole bus is like converted into this like disco or like
Totally.
anything
Sound
goes.
fun.
Like
It's super fun. It's the most fun I have all year, and I got a pretty
Why
fun
you?
life.
I would have went, son.
I will bring you.
I'd fuck with some shit like that. You
I
gotta
would've brought
bring
you.
Totally. I would like to point out that Donnell is the whitest black dude. Loves white culture.
I would have brought you, but I thought you would have fucked up the flow of Burning Man.
Son,
If
you'd
you
rather-
would have talked a lot and not listened, I would have been like, yo.
wait, put that fire out real quick.
Flow.
Put out that fire. Let's light it again. I gotta relight that man.
Yeah, that sounds like some fun. Is it a
fun.
yearly thing?
It's every year, and like one of the best. I'll describe a couple of the best art pieces this year. The best art car out there this year was a fully articulating flaming octopus. I mean, it was like 30 feet high, and its arms moved like a robot, but it was old-timey looking at the same
So
time.
is it like do you compete? Like, do you get like a trophy for the best?
No, it's just because.
Oh, yeah?
It's really just because. Most of the stuff that's my favorite part of it is how random everything is. It's like all of a sudden.
So it's like
Competition.
farmers markets everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's like the world's biggest farmer's
I
market.
love farmers markets.
Who doesn't?
No, wait a minute. I'm probably the only black guy to know the system. I get up early. Like, there's 2 times you go to farmers market. You got to get there early in the morning. You get the best prices, the best produce. Then you got to get there like 15 minutes before they breaking their shit down.
Get a discount.
Because you get a discount, right?
Yeah.
And you have to, the outfit for farmers market is you got to wear flip-flops. You got to have a recycle bag. You know what I mean? You got to have a Starbucks cup with a sleeve. You know what I'm saying? Like
you buy the coffee there from the artisan coffee maker who imports his own beans and roasts them.
Do you know the names of the?
Not to a real Starbucks.
Do you know everyone's names? Like, hello, Joyce. How are the onions?
That's Brussels sprouts, Joyce.
No, wait a minute. They're like when I come in, it's like, where you been? You've been gone for a while. But we put these scallops aside for you. Like I do have
scallops.
I'm telling you.
Son, what other white shit are you into? Because I asked Donnell if he'd listen to Watch the Throne.
David Matthews.
That's white black shit because there's all black people in the band.
I know,
but still, it's white people.
Which you hate. Right. You wish there were. Wish it were only white people.
Yeah, I was like, they was like, we don't like niggers. I'm like, wow, we're on the same page.
He gives them the full David too. So
we're on the same
I once
page.
saw
Kenny Chesney. I'm liking Kenny Chesney.
I can't go with you. I'm too black for that, man.
Yeah. I know I am a white black guy, but I'm living for Kenny.
Is he
Chesney
the proud to be American guy?
No, that's Lee Greenwood.
Damn, you do know some shit.
You know your country music.
No, but I know I was in the military, and at the end of every time we went out at night when they closed the bar and they did last call, they would play Lee Greenwood, and they'd be like, well, I'm proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm free, and I'll gladly fight to some shit, and I'll gladly stand up next to her and defend her still today, because there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And that's when white guys get in the bar fights. Woo! Fucking yeah! One more shot. Let's go. You know, that was my military experience.
I once saw the RZA at the Berkeley Farmers Market in Berkeley, California, and I was like, that can't be the RZA at the farmers market.
About arugula and all that shit, right?
I was like, from the Wu-Tang Clan? There's no way that's him. And then I looked closer, and he had the Wu-Tang W tattooed on his arm, and underneath it said, the RZA. I was like, I think that is him.
That is him. How did you
Do
know?
you know why he was there?
I'm probably buying some blueberries.
What was he doing in the Bay, though?
You know, people just stay in the Bay.
Blueberries.
Buying the blueberries.
Out of everything you could name, probably buying some blueberries.
So what's your typical day there?
Well, I've been going there since I was 17 years old. 17. I've been going since the mid 90s when it was a whole different kind of festival.
And that was more of like an acid mushroom fest.
Well, no. I mean, it still is very much that. But you know me. I'm straight edge and probably will be for the next year and a half. But
why only a year and a half?
That's the date that I've set for myself.
Is that true?
No, I'm just kidding.
What are you going to do?
Although, who knows? It's like as I get older, the older I get, the weirder it is that I'm still sober. Because I got sober when I was 15 years old. I went to rehab. I went to rehab when I was like 13, 14
so you've been
years
going
old.
there since you were 17.
I've been going since I was 17. I was already sober. So I've had the weirdest interaction with drug culture.
It seems like a real non-sober place.
It can be. Sure, it can
But
be.
to say sober at 15, like when
That's
you
weird,
start getting
right?
fucked up.
When I was like 12.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's some redneck shit.
That's some street shit, son.
Yeah. Oh, that's North
North
Oakland.
Oakland,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yo, Daryl, he's still yelling at North Oakland shit.
Daryl, come get him. What if Daryl charged into Neal's apartment? Just
Daryl,
punch me,
come in. This nigga's going crazy. up here.
punch me in the stomach again.
Moshe Kasher is one hell of a cool dude from the Bay Area,
Goddamn right. North Oakland. Or look, the truth is, I'm not from the hood, but I was raised. But I'm from North Oakland. But we were raised up. The whole thing
I'm
is,
glad you told me the truth.
yeah, man. I'm not trying to front. I'm a grown up adult.
You're a grown ass man.
I'm a grown ass man.
A grown ass motherfucking man.
I grew up in a grimy, horrible apartment in a good neighborhood. I was raised on welfare, though. We were poor.
Both of his parents are deaf.
My parents were deaf. Yeah, it's a whole.
Oh, yeah?
You know what? Honestly, it's such an interesting story that if you
so
want,
that's why you talk so much?
if you,
I'm sorry, son. That was it, me. Come on, son. We can agree that shit was funny.
you just gotta jump.
fuck,
You gotta
it's
jump in with a joke sometimes.
No,
I get it. I know how that works.
You
Yeah,
do
that
sign
happens.
language?
I do sign language.
You
yeah.
can do a whole show. Can you do a whole show in sign language?
So a stand-up show?
Yeah.
I would never do that.
Could you?
I don't know. I could translate my act into sign language, but I don't think it would be funny because it's not.
I wanted to do
Probably
a
wouldn't
show.
be great for
I had to-
podcasting.
No,
I
it
want
wouldn't
to
be
do
the
a show
best.
called. I want to do a show for a blind audience. They call it "See What I'm Saying," right? And then for a deaf audience, I heard that, and I'm not trying to be funny.
Or how about? But you don't hear me.
I
though.
like how.
No,
I
but
like
the
how
reason
you
why
don't hear me, though. And I liked how when you were telling the story, you lost interest in your own story. Like
I was scratching my eyes, son.
I want to do a show.
No,
Or you would come out and you say, "Come on, make some noise. I can't hear you," and they'd be like, "No,
No,
we
I
can't
wanted to
hear
do it.
you."
no, I wanted something nobody ever done before.
I want to do a show where I'm DJing and doing jokes and doing music, so people are actually dancing. I want people to be dancing and laughing their ass off.
You really
at the
want
same
that.
time.
Too
But I
sexy.
really do want to do a show. This is real. Now that we're doing real ones that we really want to do, I would like to do a show, a comedic show, specifically about internet cruelty and how it's slowly destroying society more than we know. The anonymity of the internet and the ability to be mean on the internet to complete strangers is warping all of our personalities, and that our grandchildren are just going to be straight up pieces of shit assholes. So look out for
But
that
it's
show.
probably it enables you to express how you really feel about certain shit.
Yeah, I don't
but-
think it does because I think there's just trolls who
Yeah, they
want
don't-
Yeah, like you'll
who
see
are
a
just
blog.
unhappy and then they go like, "Fuck you, fucking Moshe talks too much. Doug fucking ruins the thing. Donnell." Like I think it again like
those are your listeners,
like
though.
the way you texted me. It has nothing to do with
Right,
what
that
you're
was
yelling
real.
about.
That's what you think, son.
I don't think it's
it has
gonna.
everything to do.
I don't.
I don't think it's quite as this
Insidious?
apocalyptic.
Yeah.
It's not, no, you're right. Maybe
Yeah,
I
well,
should-
you know what people are pitching is the solution that people want is that there will be no anonymity in terms of posting things. You cannot post things unless it is your real name,
Right,
But I don't
totally.
think that'll ever happen.
Well, it's like,
That'll
okay,
never
I got into this thing this week. This is an interesting story. And maybe you'll
Go.
Sadat X from the group Brand Nubian went on Twitter and was saying some
Maybe your hips are getting big.
yeah, that dude.
Only got to pay my sneakers.
He
I got to hit him about my sneakers. Yeah, hit crack.
see how I just roll with it. I
Yeah,
roll
you
with
let,
it because I
see,
think it
Donnell,
adds
that's
to
the
the
thing. You let
conversation.
him that added, and he just
So
But we got more of timing now. It's just like at the
yeah, we're
beginning.
finding each other's
Yeah.
rhythm. I like you, Donnell. And
No
you don't have to
homo?
say you like
No
me.
homo,
Oh,
I
no
like
homo.
you too.
Pause. Pause on that. Speaking of no homo, Sadat X went onto Twitter and was saying some crazy homophobic shit like, I just see two dudes kissing in the street. Shit is getting out of control. These homos are out of control. So then all these people went onto his Twitter were like, Sadat, come on, don't say that kind of shit. You sound ignorant. And then he got, I think, really defensive. It was just like, I don't give a shit. I never cared about those, beat a faggot down, blah, 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 all this stuff. Some other dude went on and was like, what about the Jews? He was just waiting in the wings. Like, what about the Jews?
Right, yeah.
And then Sadat was
hilarious.
like, oh, well, I do know that 300 people called in sick at the World Trade. So he was like, I'll say some anti-Semitic shit too. I caught up with this, about 2 hours into it. Somebody called me. He was like, dude, Sadat X is going crazy on Twitter. You should get on that. Because sometimes will do provocative stuff, which I actually feel guilty about because it's hypocritical of me because I'm kind of whatever. The point is, I jumped up and I started saying some shit like, hey, y'all, try at Grand Poobah. Same exact voice as Sadat X, but without all the vitriolic hate speech. Because that's what people used to say about Sadat, was that he sounded just like Grand Poobah. We were going back
They
and
were
forth.
he was in Grand Poobah, wasn't he?
They were both in Brand Nubian, and they sounded the same.
Oh, right.
Not that I think Grand Poobah doesn't have homophobia. It doesn't matter. We were going back and forth. Sadat started responding to me.
If your last name is X, the chances are
you have some strong opinions about Jews. Yeah.
So finally, we're going back and forth, and Sadat starts talking to me directly. He starts direct messaging me, and he's like, "I bet you're going to kill it on those college bookings this year, Sadat." And he goes, "Meaning what?" And I was like, "Meaning I'm sure that the college campuses are going to love having a hip hop legend spewing hate speech." And he goes, "Actually, this is where it gets interesting. I know people are tuning out at this point, but he goes, actually, we have a show in D.C. in November. Why don't you come be Brand Nubian's special guest?" And I wrote him back like, "Are you asking me to open for you? Because I'm an effeminate Jew. I don't know if that's what you want." And he said, "If you got jokes, come through." So I wrote, "Well, how much are you paying? Because I'm Jewish. I got to get to the bottom line." And finally,
and you did it in an effeminate way.
Yeah,
like,
so how much are you paying or whatever? And there was glitter. And he was like,
"I'm in a difficult situation here. I mean, after all, you're nerds."
That's what he said. That's what Sadat said. The point is, the punchline of the whole thing, and this is true, is that I said to him, "You know what? Actually, fuck pay. I'll fly myself out there. I'll open up for you for free if you agree to meet with some victims of homophobia and some parents of people that have lost their children to homophobic hate crimes." He agreed to do it. And then all of his fans started talking shit like, "You're soft, Sadat, you're soft." And he has since backed off. He will not contact me on Twitter anymore. Sadat X, if you're listening, I'm calling you out.
He's not listening.
He might, though. Somebody forward this to Sadat X. We're going to have this homophobia symposium.
Get him on the podcast.
We'll get him.
I would love to have him on
I would love to have him on the podcast too. But he won't respond. And my last tweet to him was, "I guess word isn't bond."
Oh.
That's a classic.
It must have cut.
Punctuate that.
It must have cut so shallow.
But I really thought it would be a cool thing to go out there and be like.
Where was the show?
In D.C. At Robert Kennedy, RFK University. I don't know where that is.
I don't know.
But I thought it would be cool because I feel hypocritical.
Donnell only lived there for 25 years.
It's probably something new.
Yeah, who knows? But I feel
they come up with new colleges all the time.
All the time. They got a new Obama Academy in Houston. It's a high school, a magnet school, and it's a black principal. That's the new one. And I'm going to go speak there.
You
Is
sure
that
that
true?
show
That's cool.
in D.C. It's
For
not,
what?
It's
What
not
are you
the
gonna
Anne
say?
Frank,
Do you do a lot of speaking?
Yeah. Well, I'm just starting to get into it, you know. The reason why I started trying to go to more high schools and doing stuff like that, because a teacher I know from Brooklyn, he said, "Donnell, you know what? You got to come to my school." I'm like, "Why?" He said, "Because most of my students don't know who Nelson Mandela is, but they know who Donnell Rawlings, Ashy Larry is."
And you were like, "Bet, that's hot."
Yes.
But I thought about it. I said, if my voice is strong enough to get some kids open like that, I might as well try to tell them some good shit. So I'm going to be talking to some kids at a couple schools.
A couple questions. Do you need Moshe to open for you?
I was going to ask that, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
I think he would be a good opener for something like that.
Can he bring?
Will you
apologize to victims of hate crime?
He didn't do anything wrong.
No, I think people apologize for too much shit nowadays, and I think
That was a joke question, but I like this answer.
Yeah, I think that you should be able to say whatever the fuck you want to say without having to worry about having to apologize about too much of anything.
Yeah, like Cat Williams shit was hot.
We got to get Cat on this.
Cat said he would not apologize.
That's cool. Good
This
for
is
him.
great.
Yeah,
But, I agree with you. We talked about this before. Sadat X or Cat Williams or anybody has any right to say whatever they want, but everybody also has the right to react to it however they want. Right.
be an asshole, but you can be an asshole without the hate and without hurting somebody, man.
Be an asshole because that's your personality,
Exactly.
like me.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Neal. Yeah, it's not about color with Neal. He just is an asshole.
Yeah, and Neil, but now you can't see it as much as it is.
I needed to get away from your negative energy.
He learned how to smile in L.A. He didn't smile in New York.
You can be an
that's
asshole if
true.
you know someone and if you have some kind of reason to be an asshole about it, like me.
No, some people can be assholes just to be assholes.
This is the most real podcast we've ever had, by the way.
This is either worked better or worse. I don't know.
But
I did radio. I know it's very good. And the reason why I say that people love conflict.
No, I know. That's what I was going to say. As long as there's a narrative and that's people are listening.
You need that blogger
The
guy.
reason I listen to Howard Stern is because I liked listening to, because you get to know the people,
Right.
And I feel like you'll get to know us hopefully a little bit.
Well, at Burning Man, there was one art project.
I want to go next year. So.
I'll take you
For real.
He will stay longer than you. I promise you. I've done shit like this before, and he will be more into it than you've ever like.
Yo, Neal,
I remember you told me you were so happy when Linkin Park and Jay-Z made a record together. I was like, that shit is corny. You're like, son, you got to fuck with this, son.
It's like Judgment Night. You remember that?
Oh,
Judgment
the worst.
Night soundtrack? Yeah.
Also, if he goes to Burning Man, he's gonna be ashy as fuck.
Yeah, that's so true. You will be ashy.
I'm not going to be ashy, Neal. I promise.
Son, I heard you said that I was too ashy at Burning Man.
I know what ashy is, okay? And I wasn't ashy.
I know whose property that belongs to.
That was
belongs
dust.
to the people.
But there was this
That was
project.
just dust.
There was this project at one of the art pieces at Burning Man, which I thought was kind of neat. It was this weird spiral that it was a thing. It was a structure that you walked up, and it went up maybe 20 feet, and then came all the way back down. Like it was like a cinnamon. It was a spiral, and on all the walls of this spiral structure, there were pencils everywhere, and people wrote down things that they were ashamed of.
That's awesome.
It was the shame spiral.
That's great.
And you went through and read anonymous things. This is how anonymity can be good. Is like all these things that people were ashamed of, they were putting up on the wall. And then at the end of the week, they burned the thing. So all this sort of toxic, negative,
right.
Actually toxic fumes, but negative energy sort of went up into the air. So, and when we were driving away from that shame spiral, everybody in the car said something that they were personally ashamed of. And that was a really...
Did you write in the spiral?
No, we just did it like it was a bunch of friends.
Oh, got it.
We drove away from it in our art car.
What was your art car?
It was a Lincoln, completely. It wasn't an art car at all. It was just a Lincoln.
Okay.
It wasn't like
Don't they,
Abraham
like,
Lincoln.
not-
It didn't have like a
They
beard
don't
on
really,
the front.
I
or
thought they
anything?
don't let you in unless you have some cool
I can
car.
kind of do whatever I want
Oh,
there.
fuck.
I thought maybe if you guys are down, but you're probably not because it's a little bit too intense. But maybe you are. You seem like a very in touch guy. We could all right now say something that we're ashamed of to drive. Anything you want, whatever you're comfortable admitting on air, a thing that you're ashamed of from your own life. I could go first.
Yeah, go first.
I got a few. I'm ashamed that I can't keep a clean house. I'm incapable of keeping.
we're doing
What
that.
a softball answer.
Hold on, I'm building up. Okay. I'm building up. I'm ashamed.
I'm ashamed that I can't keep a clean car.
What else did I feel that I've let my career atrophy every other part of my life, like all my relationships, everything, dating. It's all been focused on my career. That everything else has died. I'm also lightweight ashamed of the fact that I'm 32 and I've never had a serious relationship with a woman. With dudes, I've had no, but that's real.
I never pitched this idea, but see, son, I'm 5
Can we
5
change
years
the name
ahead
of
of him.
the podcast to Shame Spiral?
Yeah, it already
I
is.
totally would. I was going to do a thing because you know how they say that one of the keys to happiness is being aware of what you're grateful for.
Yeah.
I always thought that would be a thing to do, an interesting thing to do. Like they say, if you keep a gratitude journal, it helps you write down every night before you go to sleep. It's like proven to make people happier. If we did that every week. But shame also works. Shame is obviously a little wetter. I think I wish I could freeze. I'm ashamed of my personality and wish that I could freeze time, rebuild it, learn everything I wanted to learn, and become the person I wanted to become, but not because the problem with life is it fucking keeps going. So you're like, I just need to stop and figure some shit out. And here's the other bad news. No one has more free time than me in the world. I had the thought yesterday that I have like basically the life of an heiress, where I just like.
So when you send me the voicemail, that's just you being ashamed to pick up the phone for me.
The text?
Yeah, if I call you.
No. Oh, no. When do I not? Son, the reason I don't pick up is because I feel guilty that I'm not doing something that you make me feel guilty for not doing shit that I can put you in. And it's like,
oh, son, you got an artist. I want to be your friend, son.
Fuck. Okay.
I don't give a shit about.
All right, good, because that was the last time. The blow
son,
up.
that was the mystery.
The blow up before this blow up was about that. because you wanted me to. You were like, "Why don't you do a TV show? Why don't you do a TV show?" And I was like,
No, that's
I
not what
don't
the
want to
blow-
do a TV show.
That's not what the blow up.
You
No,
said
you
I said I have
That was the
opportunities to
opposite.
do TV shows, and I don't because doing a TV show is way too hard. And then you were like, "Why don't you do a TV show? Oh, you're too good for it." And I was like, Donnell, I told you it's too fucking hard.
That's not what I said. This is what I gathered from that. There was a network that was interested, a nice network was interested, in Neal taking over a time slot. Basically, here you can do whatever you want with this time slot. And he told me about the story. I'm like, well, me listen to the story. I'm like, we about to go do some shit. That's what I thought. But then Neal was like, nah, I want to focus on movies. I don't know exactly what the dialogue was. I want to focus on movies.
Which
Somewhere-
paid off in spades. Go ahead.
Yeah, but somewhere in there is like, because it might have been because TV is hard, but in my mind I'm thinking it's hard, but you did a good job at it being hard. And what the fuck is hard?
No,
about
I know, but that's the thing is, it's way harder than even you know who worked on the show. Like, you can't know how hard these shows are unless you're the one doing
Yeah,
it.
but I don't know. I know,
But that's what I kept saying.
I know
Dude,
how hard
it's
it is. but
too
you can-
hard.
I know,
And
but what's wrong with doing hard shit?
because it fucks your life up. It fucking fucks you, and then
But
you're like
that's what you live
Moshe,
for.
where you just do your whole career. No, because I don't. But the thing is,
What? How did I
here's-
get involved
No, I'm
in
just
this?
fucking around. Because you said you gave. When you do a TV show, it's so hard. It dominates every aspect of your life. It's a 17-hour-a-day job for months on end, 9 months of the year. And it's
But how
and,
good did
and
you feel
which
when
is
you
cool.
did it?
It's great when you don't know if you can do it or not. During Chappelle's show, I didn't know if I could do it. I was like, I don't know if we can make a good TV show. We did it, so now I'm no longer curious. Now I'm actually way more curious to see if I can become a great comedian. So that's what I'm focused on.
No.
Now you're fucking with the champs.
That's some straight up champs. That shit. You were only going to get some deep emotional. Okay, so
I want to say, I just want to interject real quick.
Yeah.
It was definitely, if you ever felt like I wanted, like, you had done a lot of for my career anyway.
Right.
I was good.
Right.
Like, we're good from, like, the things that you did for me. We're good. You gave me that platform.
Right.
I didn't want anything. What I wanted to do was be able to continue to create with you. I thought we was a super team with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And as hard as you thought things were, I thought we made it easy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like our connection. And so for me, like coming from that experience and taking it somewhere else, I'm like, we're going to really kill it. I thought it like this. We know what the fuck we're doing now. That's how I look at it.
I know. Well, I just look at, and that's what I kept saying on the phone is, dude, it's too hard. I'm telling you, it's too hard. I've got other opportunities, and I don't do it because it's too hard. It's fucking too hard. I told you, Alan Thicke did a show for a year in 1985.
Alan Thicke?
He still talks about how hard it was.
What was the show?
Thick of the Night.
Oh, yeah.
And he still talks about how hard it was.
Arsenio, I go hard.
Growing pains.
Arsenio hasn't done shit since his show because Jack Parr walked off
Arsenio
on a
who?
Arsenio.
Arsenio didn't do shit since his show because his last guest was fucking Reverend.
That has nothing to do with it. We're going to try to get him.
Fuck out of here.
We're going to have him on
Get
the
the fuck-
podcast. We're going to have that
He's
wasn't
gonna-
his last guest, and we're going to
That
have him on
wasn't
the
his last
podcast.
guy. That didn't have no influence on his career. You don't think?
The show was already out. The show was already on its way out.
Hey, if Farrakhan,
Well,
if you're
maybe-
listening,
okay,
or
maybe it was
Sadat
on
X, I just want you.
Maybe it was on his way out, but it didn't encourage people to want to work with him again. Can I say it that way?
Yeah, I mean you can say it however you want.
Yeah,
We'll have him on the show and we will talk about it. Arsenio, look, emails have been exchanged. That was what I emailed. Bark, bark, bark.
Oh, you said here a message from the dog pound, Doug Pound.
Things that make you go, was in the. So I'm ashamed of my character and personality, and wish I could I wish I was more generous. I wish I was nicer. And I'm not a fucking. I mean, you say I'm an asshole as your friend. I'm not an asshole. Like I'm like I've also done tons of nice shit. But yeah, so that's what I'm ashamed of.
Donna, do you feel comfortable answering this question?
it's a tough question because I'm not really ashamed of too much shit.
That's good, man.
You
Shame's
know?
worthless in some
No,
ways,
like,
but it's
I'm
good to
ashamed.
purge.
I'm ashamed that I punched a girl in the arm before. You know?
Before, like more than once?
She just, it was like It's not funny, son. It's not funny. Like, it's not funny. I'm ashamed of that. I'm ashamed of that punch. It was in a meaty area though.
Okay, yeah. If it's a media, area, it's
it
different.
wasn't a face shot.
That was the what app? Didn't she have a bottle or something?
No. That was a Brooklyn story. Oh God, what's wrong with me?
Wait, there's more than one?
There's more.
I feel like we missed out on so many great stories.
No, there's not more than that, son. I'm just ashamed.
Donnell, would you come back?
I'm just ashamed. This
I'm
chick
not
didn't
ashamed
know.
of much except punching
I'm just,
women.
Yeah, I'm just ashamed that this chick didn't know which to shut the fuck up. No, I'm joking. Come on, son.
Doug, what do you got?
I'm ashamed that.
No. Girls would ever motorboat. DJ Doug Pounds. Balls.
I love it.
Thank you for getting real, man. I appreciate that.
We all put a lot out there.
Yeah, wow, that's really deep.
Okay,
man.
okay.
I think you can drop it at that.
No, I am ashamed of some things, and I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna say.
So I guess we know
we'll
who's
turn to stop the podcast, and I'll tell you.
Word.
But
Why?
okay,
But
here's
we
what,
didn't.
okay. Here's what I'm ashamed about. I'm ashamed that I have a temper, and I come in here and I'm kind of angry sometimes, and Neal calls me out on it, and I can't control it sometimes. I'm too wound up. You guys don't know how.
Yeah, you're that
Neal
scary,
Neal
like,
does
angry.
he has the most free time in the world. I have the least free time in the world.
And I watch a lot of Breaking Bad.
I was in my friend's. I was a groomsman in a wedding in Chicago last week. I work every single day, editing all day, and at night.
He looks like he's about to kill somebody.
Now, Tim and Eric want me to edit the trailers and the teasers for the movie, so I got to do that at night. Now tomorrow I got to fly to Portland because I'm working on Portlandia right now. I don't know if I'm ashamed. I'm just stressed out.
But you also know we're in a bad economy, and the fact that you have all those.
I say
jobs
yes to
That's
everything.
hella real.
I
Yep.
say yes to everything.
Doug,
Maybe I should be ashamed about that.
Doug, you should get a massage.
I said yes to this podcast that I come to, and I drive here, and I road rage on my way down.
I would be afraid of getting a road rage battle. You just.
I know. He looks like a serial killer.
I don't really road rage. I drive slow. I'm like one of those guys in the right lane going exactly 65.
It's like falling down.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I feel like we've all gotten real. This has been the realest episode.
This has definitely been the realest. It's been the least sound affected. I don't know if it was.
I don't like it. I liked the episode. I didn't like how not
It
sound
felt-
effective it was.
That's
felt-
what you should be ashamed
it
about.
felt
About
bare.
how you hurt my feelings.
I'm
You
not,
told me not
but-
to do
Yeah,
my.
you can't. Yeah, you can't get him to pull out all this shit and be like, don't hit any buttons.
No. I'm
sitting there at work.
Rather you
I'm at work
talk.
working on this podcast, looking through soundboards, trying to find
Yeah, that
funny
is
things. All
disrespectful, Neal.
doing
That's
all my
disrespectful.
homework
Yeah,
at
Neal.
work.
I was waiting for your negative energy all
you
day,
got a pad,
and you
Neal.
brought that
Be
shit.
ashamed of
You got a
yourself.
You
pad.
should be ashamed of
You
yourself.
Be ashamed of yourself in that spiral.
Not like it is one thing, Neil, but you got to respect the work. This is work right here.
Because we never.
You told him,
have
don't hit a
time.
button.
We,
Nah, I'm-
Don't fucking
we
button.
have we keep talking about we're going to have a champs meeting.
We're gonna have a champs meeting,
and it never happened.
We'll do
Because
it.
We're all
Yeah, you
because
did it today. You did it on air.
yeah, we sure
we did it on the air, and then
I'm sorry you had to. I'm sorry you had to be there for that, Donnell.
I'm used to being around dysfunctional families.
so
It's been a long time since we've done the last podcast too. So we're all.
Totally, we're all getting.
He went to
our
Burning
demons
Man.
out.
Probably renewed as a butterfly.
I feel good, man.
He's good.
I'm going to Burning Man next year.
You're coming with me.
Where?
Do you got
you're
anything
going to
coming
be
up?
he's going
Donnell?
to be a captain.
Donnell, do you have any stand-up dates coming up you want to plug?
I'll just say DonnellRawlings.com. Everything's there.
DonnellRawlings.com. Check it out. I will be on Chelsea Lately on the 20th, and that weekend I'll be up at Rooster Teeth Feathers. So come out in Sunnyvale. So come see me.
I'm going to be on Conan on Wednesday, the 21st.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then I'm going to be at Florida FAU in Boca Raton on the 22nd of this is all of September. I'm going to be at Velvet Jones
In Santa Barbara?
In Santa Barbara. Yeah, June 30th. Have you done it?
No, but I went to college there, so I'd like to go up there and visit those blonde pieces of shit.
There's like a Velvet Jones is like a music club,
Yeah.
but they're starting to do comedy. So that's that's September 30th. Come out.
I got a couple shows, but I forgot. They're like in L.A.
Well, find him at
Twitter me.
at Doug Pound.
I'll Twitter him.
I'm at Moshe Kasher, MoShekasher.
At Neal Brennan. No hate, please.
No hate. Stop hating.
And if you felt like, look, we have to express ourselves, but I am curious as to what people think of the significantly fewer drops.
I'm
version
opposed
of
to
the
it. Email thechamps@gmail.com. That is our email address. Email thechamps@gmail.com.
What happened to the pizza?
Everybody likes you. What about me? That's sad. You ask a lot of questions. I love you. I have to go. I have to go catch a bus.
Is that all you got? Is that all you got?